Imagine waking up, grabbing your phone, and before you've even left bed, you've scrolled past more stimulation than your great-grandparents saw in a week. Short videos, notifications, messages, headlines, all spiking your dopamine, all teaching your brain one thing: boredom is dangerous. Silence must be filled. Then, when it's time to study, work, or build something meaningful, your brain refuses. Real life feels slow. Your focus is scattered, your motivation weak, and even small tasks feel heavy. This video is your 7-day dopamine reset. Not a monk-level detox, not a magic cure, but a structured, science-based reboot to help you reclaim focus and drive. Over the next 15 minutes, I'll guide you day by day through simple, uncomfortable, but powerful steps. If you felt addicted to your phone, stuck in procrastination, or numb to normal life, stay with me. The next week could quietly change everything. Before we dive into the 7-day plan, you need to understand what we're actually resetting. Dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical, it's the motivation and anticipation chemical. It spikes when something feels exciting, novel, or rewarding, and modern life is engineered to hit that system non-stop. The problem isn't dopamine itself, it's that constant high peaks make regular life feel flat. Our goal this week is to reduce the noise, the artificial spikes, so your baseline sensitivity can recover. You'll still work, still use technology, but in a controlled way that rebuilds your capacity to focus on boring, meaningful things. If you're serious about changing your relationship with distraction, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming deep dives on focus, habits, and brain health. And commit to watching this video until the end. The last few segments tie everything together into a sustainable long-term system you can actually stick with. Day 0 starts. Before your official reset, preparation. Today's mission is to design your environment so willpower isn't your only defense. First, list your top 3 dopamine traps. Maybe TikTok, YouTube Shorts, gaming, or late-night junk food. Be brutally honest. These are what we'll target. Next, modify your environment. Move social apps off your home screen or uninstall them for the week. Log out of streaming services. Place snacks and sweets somewhere inconvenient, or better, don't buy them. Set up website blockers on your laptop for your biggest time sink sites. Then, decide your baseline rules for the 7 days: sleep window, work blocks, tech limits, and non-negotiable daily habits like a 10-minute walk or journaling. Write these down on a piece of paper and put it where you'll see it first thing in the morning. The more you prepare today, the less discipline you'll need when temptation hits. Day 1 is your awareness shock. You're not changing everything yet. You're measuring your current relationship with stimulation. Start by tracking every time you reach for your phone, open a new tab, or switch tasks. Use a simple notebook or a notes app. Ironically, that's one of the few allowed uses. Every time you feel the urge to check something, pause and ask, what am I trying not to feel right now? Boredom, anxiety, fatigue, curiosity? Write down a one-word answer. This is how you connect your compulsive habits to emotional triggers. Today, keep notifications off except calls and essential messages. No social media during work or study hours, but you can still use it in a single 30-minute window at night. Don't try to be perfect. Just notice. By the end of the day, quickly review your notes. You'll likely see patterns: stress scrolling, procrastination browsing, late-night numbing. Awareness is the first cut into the autopilot loop. Day 2 is where the reset becomes real. A light dopamine fast from your biggest digital stimulus. For most people, that's short-form content and rapid-fire entertainment. Today, no TikTok, no shorts, no endless scrolling feeds. You can still message people, check email, and use tools for work, but absolutely no algorithmic rabbit holes. Expect withdrawal. Your brain has been trained to get tiny hits of excitement every few seconds. When those disappear, boredom will feel louder and urges will spike. That's not failure, that's data. To survive this, schedule replacement activities, a 20-minute walk without headphones, reading 10 pages of a book, or doing a simple household task every time the urge to scroll appears. Use a tally system. Each time you resist, mark it down. You're teaching your brain that urge does not equal action. By bedtime, note how your mental energy feels. It might be restless, but you've already begun lowering the noise floor. Day 3 shifts from subtracting stimulation to adding friction and adding meaning. First, deepen your digital boundaries. Keep your phone in another room for your first 60 minutes after waking and last 60 minutes before sleep. Use a basic alarm clock if needed. Now introduce a daily deep work block, just one. Choose a task that matters: studying, learning a skill, building a project, or planning your business. For 45-60 minutes, no phone, no tabs unrelated to the task, no music with lyrics. Set a timer. When your mind wanders, gently pull it back. You'll feel the itch to check something every few minutes. Expect it. That discomfort is your focus muscle being rebuilt. After the block, jot down 2 things: how many times you felt the urge to distract yourself and how your brain felt at the end. Drained, calm, proud. Today's goal isn't productivity, it's reassociating effort with satisfaction instead of avoidance. By day 4, the novelty of doing a reset is fading, and this is where most people quit. Your task today is to build structure so you don't rely on motivation. Start with a simple daily template: morning, work, study, evening. Morning, 10-15 minutes of movement, walk, stretch, or light exercise. Before any screens, hydrate, maybe a quick cold shower or splashing your face to wake your nervous system. Work, study, 2 deep work blocks of 45 minutes, separated by 10 to 15-minute breaks without social media. During breaks, move your body or look outside a window instead of checking your phone. Evening, replace at least 30 minutes of passive screen time with a low dopamine activity: reading, journaling, cleaning, drawing, or prepping tomorrow. You're not chasing perfection, you're creating a rhythm. High performers aren't superhuman, they just live inside routines where good choices are the default, not the exception. Day 5 introduces the most underrated dopamine reset tool: intentional boredom. Modern life has almost eliminated it, but your brain needs empty space to reset and become creative again. Today, schedule one 20-30-minute block with zero input. No phone, no music, no podcasts, no reading. Just you and your thoughts. Sit on a bench, stare out a window, lie on the floor, whatever. When your mind screams, "This is pointless," you found the edge. During this time, notice what surfaces: unfinished tasks, worries, ideas, random memories. Don't judge or chase them, just observe. If it's overwhelming, keep a notebook nearby and jot down anything you want to handle later. The goal isn't to meditate perfectly, it's to prove to your nervous system that stillness isn't dangerous. Over time, this space becomes where insights appear and your tolerance for low stimulation activities grows. On day 6, we focus on embodied dopamine, using your body to regulate your brain instead of screens and sugar. If you're already an athlete, keep it simple. If you're sedentary, don't panic. We're not training for the Olympics. Today, introduce 20 to 30 minutes of deliberate physical effort. This could be a brisk walk, a light jog, bodyweight exercises, cycling, or even intense house cleaning. The key is to raise your heart rate and sweat a little. Afterward, pay attention to the feeling, not just in your muscles, but in your mind. Movement gives you a more stable, slower dopamine rise, plus endorphins and other neuromodulators that improve mood and focus. To reinforce the habit, pair this block with a tiny ritual: same time of day, same shoes, same water bottle. Consistency builds identity. You're telling yourself, "I'm someone who moves their body instead of escaping into a screen." That identity shift is worth more than any single workout. By day 7, your brain has had nearly a week of reduced artificial spikes, more structure, and more physical movement. Today, we zoom out and reconnect dopamine to direction, your values and long-term goals. Take 20-30 minutes with a notebook and answer 3 questions. 1. What do I actually want my life to look like 1 to 3 years from now? Health, work, relationships, skills. 2. Which current habits clearly pull me toward that life? 3. Which habits clearly pull me away? Then choose one high dopamine for good habit to build over the next month: learning a skill, building a portfolio, practicing an instrument, starting a side project, deep reading. This becomes your new default when you feel bored. Dopamine isn't the enemy. We want it working for you, attached to progress and mastery instead of endless novelty. Today is about aligning your brain's reward system with the person you're trying to become. The reset doesn't end at day 7. Now we translate it into weekly systems, so your focus and drive don't collapse at the first stressful week. Think of this as your maintenance protocol. First, pick 2 low-stim days per week, maybe Sunday and Wednesday, where you avoid short-form content entirely and cut entertainment time in half. These days act as mini resets. Second, keep at least one 45, 60-minute deep work block in your calendar every weekday, protected like an appointment. During that time, phone in another room, notifications off, single task only. Third, maintain your movement habit at least 3 times per week. It's not just physical, it's mental hygiene. Finally, schedule a weekly review. 10 to 15 minutes to look at what derailed you, what worked, and what needs adjustment. Systems beat willpower. You're building a lifestyle where distraction has less room to grow. Even with systems, there will be moments you find yourself deep in a scroll hole or gaming binge. Today's skill is resetting without self-hate. When you slip, and you will, practice the rule of 1. Notice, name, and nudge. Notice. Catch yourself as soon as awareness returns. No dramatics, just, okay, I'm scrolling. Name. Say out loud or in your head what's happening. I'm avoiding starting that assignment, or I'm tired and chasing stimulation. Naming pulls you out of autopilot. Nudge. Don't vow to change your whole life. Just do the next tiny thing. Close the tab, stand up, drink water, or set a 5-minute timer to start the real task. The goal is to make recovery fast and gentle, not perfect. Shame spikes stress, which ironically makes you crave more dopamine. Compassion plus tiny course corrections keep you in the game long term. To lock in your dopamine reset, we add 2 final levers: sleep and inputs. First, sleep. Aim for a consistent window, say 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., and keep screens out of bed. Blue light and midnight scrolling wreck dopamine regulation, attention, and impulse control. A simple rule: no stimulating content in the last hour before sleep. Second, curate your inputs. Your brain becomes what it repeatedly consumes. Replace doom scrolling with a short list of high-quality feeds. A few creators or newsletters that teach you skills, challenge your thinking, or inspire you to act. Unfollow accounts that constantly trigger comparison, outrage, or mindless consumption. It's not personal, it's mental hygiene. Together with movement, deep work, and boredom tolerance, these 2 levers stabilize your baseline. You're making it easier for your brain to find satisfaction in slow, meaningful progress instead of chasing the next hit. Let's recap the core of this 7-day dopamine reset so you can remember and reuse it whenever your focus slips. First, awareness and environment. Identify your top dopamine traps and make them harder to access. Track urges and triggers to see your patterns clearly. Second, subtraction. Remove or heavily limit short-form, high-novelty digital hits, especially during work hours. Protect your mornings and nights from screens. Third, addition. Install deep work blocks, daily movement, and intentional boredom. These rebuild your attention span, stabilize mood, and retrain your brain to find satisfaction in effort. Fourth, alignment. Reconnect dopamine to long-term goals by choosing meaningful projects and high dopamine for good habits. Finally, systems and self-compassion. Use weekly, low-stim days, regular reviews, and the rule of one to recover quickly from slips. You're not broken. Your brain has been overfed with stimulation. With structure and patience, it can absolutely recalibrate. Now it's your turn to move from theory to experiment. Don't just watch this and nod. Commit to running your own 7-day dopamine reset starting tomorrow. Screenshot or write down the daily steps we covered and adapt them to your life. In the comments, share which dopamine trap hits you hardest. Short videos, gaming, junk food, constant multitasking, and what specific rule you'll follow this week. Public commitment makes follow-through way more likely. If you found this useful and want more deep, practical videos on focus, habits, and mental performance, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. I'll be posting guided deep work sessions, distraction challenges, and more neuroscience-backed tools. Finally, if someone in your life is clearly drowning in distraction, send them this video and start the reset together. Accountability turns a hard week into a shared challenge, and that's how real change sticks.